All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Meet the Franchisee webinar. We appreciate you making time to join us. My name is Sam Fisher, and I'm responsible for franchisee development here at Yesco. I will be the host and moderator for this session. This is our first of our monthly series where we invite members of the sign and lighting community to interact with a Yesco franchisee. A few items before we begin. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on the web for later viewing. The participants will be muted to avoid background noise and distractions. The webinar is intended to last 30 minutes, including a question and answer session at the end, and the speakers are not working from a script, nor have they been coached in their responses. And we're required to read the following legal disclaimer, so appreciate your patience. The views and opinions expressed are those of the individual or individuals and not necessarily of Yesco or its affiliates. Furthermore, any specific financial information presented does not constitute a financial performance representation. We do not make any representations about a franchisee's future financial performance or the past financial performance of company-owned or franchised outlets. We also do not authorize our employees or representatives to make such representations either orally or in writing. Information regarding the financial performance of Yesco franchising can be found in our financial disclosure document. We invite you to request a copy. You can do so by contacting any of these individuals based on the region where you are located. So at this time, I'm pleased to introduce our guest speakers. Paul and Marianne Deters own and operate Metro Detroit Signs. They became Yesco's first franchisee in April 2011. Prior to joining Yesco, they had one service truck operating in Detroit and did not promote the service line of business. Today, they have 5 Yesco-branded service trucks operating in Detroit. They have also expanded into Grand Rapids, where they are running 2 Yesco-branded service trucks. Paul and Marianne have been operating as a franchisee for 4 years and are happy to speak about their experiences. We thank them for their time to participate in this webinar. I now turn the time over to Paul and Marianne.
Thank you, Sam. Good morning, everyone. My name is Paul Deters, and I'd just like to give you a little bit of a background on our business. My father, John, and I bought Metro Detroit Signs, which was a 60-year-old full-service sign company from a third-generation owner about 19 years ago.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marianne. I'm Paul's wife, and I worked part-time in the business while I was raising our 3 sons, and about 10 years ago went full-time. I now run the service operation of the business.
At the time we bought our business, neither one of us knew anything about the sign industry. It just happened to be one of several businesses that we looked at through a business broker. At the time, about 2/3 of our business was subcontracted installation work that we did for national sign companies, and the balance of it comprised some service and some custom fabrication work that we did. And probably like a number of you, we somewhat rode the ups and downs of the economy for 15 years, but our business really wasn't generating the types of returns that we had expected when we purchased it. And 2009 and 10 were particularly difficult times for us in Detroit, as you can imagine, when all 3 of the big car companies were on the verge of bankruptcy. And a major concern of ours at the time was that we had very little ability to increase our sales. Without any new construction going on or remodeling, there wasn't a whole lot of opportunity for us on the installation side. However, we were a little fortunate that we were able to participate in a large installation project with Yesco at General Motors headquarters. We had done a little bit of work for them in the past at Ford headquarters and saw a few other installations along the way, so we did have a little bit of an association with Yesco prior to joining on.
When we were at the ISA show in Las Vegas in the spring of 2011, we spoke and decided to attend a franchise meeting that Yesco had. We had talked a little bit about franchising and had some concerns. We were concerned about, number one, our national business that we had already done in our service department. And the other issue was we were concerned about how it would affect our margins. We didn't do a whole lot of service at the time. We kind of waited for the phone to ring. We didn't really promote it. But we thought it might be a good opportunity to focus on it. We were concerned about, how it would affect Yesco, the franchise business with Metro Detroit Signs, which was our brand, as we had put a lot of time and sweat equity into our business.
So as that presentation that we attended unfolded, I'd say really the reality of our business set in on us. And, Mary Ann and I realized that despite working 60 or 70 hours a week and doubling our sales, the value of our business had not grown much over the 15 years. And a concern of ours was that our company was actually at a tremendous risk. As I had mentioned, our sales depended on national partners getting either the next big bank changeover or hotel changeover, whatever the case might be. And we had a couple of national partners go bankrupt on us, and we wound up writing off over $300,000 in receivables, and we're concerned that might happen again because some of our partners were in trouble as well. And not only that risk, but we had huge volume spikes in our business that really made it difficult for us to manage our labor, and it was a big concern to our bank. We had a great staff and a great team here that we really enjoyed working with, but to some extent the nature of our business made us feel that we were trapped. And too often we felt like we were the business and didn't see how we were going to be able to change that and really grow our business moving forward. So as that presentation that the Yesco put on that day progressed, we knew that this was something that we had to at least give a shot.
Now we'd like to take a couple of minutes and talk about some of the benefits we've realized from being a Yesco franchise. One of the biggest is our recurring revenue stream. There's a lot of peace of mind, no longer starting over every month. With our service trucks and having 5 trucks in Detroit, it's easier to plan our labor. Also, we found that the banks were looking more favorably as our service operation grew from 15 to 40% of our overall volume in the last 3 years, at a time when our manufacturing and our installation and service have all been growing. Another benefit to being a Yesco franchise is we're able to take advantage of their buying power. We found that the savings on the materials has more than offset our royalty on a monthly basis. We also had some concerns about paying royalties on our existing service business that we already had, but we really found that the material savings and a lot of the other benefits have far outweighed that. Another benefit is the technology and the training that Yesco offers. Things like energy-efficient lighting, maintenance contracts. We were trying to figure it out, but found that we had great resources with all the staff at Yesco and could call them anytime to get help if I needed to price something out. We also have a monthly call with a Yesco coach, and that helps us stay focused and stay on track. Yesco, too, we have a great family, a great network with all the other franchisees. It isn't uncommon for me to call another Yesco franchise and ask them about, their payroll company, questions about what type of LED lighting they're buying, that type of thing. So it's nice to have a great network that we can call and they call us as well. So.
I'd say some of the other things that we've realized as well is that for the first time we really feel that we've got a scalable business, and that for us is we now have there's sort of a predictable model that we can follow, and if we focus on the right things and the key components of growing our business and running it on a daily basis, that it is going to continue to grow. And that's something that we really struggled with before. We somewhat control our own destiny a little bit more than we used to. We also think that we have a competitive advantage and that we're truly different than what our local competitors are here in many ways. There's a level of professionalism that we've been able to attain here that's rarely seen in the sign industry. We have the nice branded trucks. We've got some special software that our competitors are not using. The nice uniforms, the training that Mary Ann had alluded to, all of those are points of differentiation. And the other thing, as I'd say, is that no one else can self-perform across the United States and Canada. And we think that puts us in a unique position to secure or to pursue work that's beyond just what our local market had offered to us previously. And that some of the combination of all of these resources puts us also in a better position to attract and to retain staff than a typical small sign shop could. And I think all of you would probably realize that that's going to be a huge factor as the economy continues to improve and all of us are competing for technical help in what's an increasingly tight labor pool. I'd say that we've all realized sort of a renewed energy and pride in our business. Our staff is excited to be part of something that's real special in the sign industry, and we see that there's more opportunities for us now than we could have gone out and pursued on our own. It's put our total business in a much more stable environment. Our local customer base has grown tremendously, and that's set a lot of opportunities for us on our custom side, and it's given us a better ability to serve all of our customers because our staff has grown and there's a flexibility of sharing resources that we didn't have before. But maybe most importantly, we think that the Young family and the entire Yesco franchising team have become great friends, and for us, and they're genuinely interested in us growing our business and helping us in any way they can. And as probably a lot of you know too, this is a very challenging business, and having the support not only of the Yesco team, but as Mary Ann had mentioned, all of the other franchisees makes us feel we're part of something bigger, and it's been a real blessing for us. So we just want to thank you for allowing us to share our experience with you. And if there are any questions now, Mary Ann and I are happy to entertain anything that you might like for us to elaborate on.
Great. Thank you, Paul and Mary Ann. We certainly appreciate you taking the time to share your experiences. So we'll now open it up to questions. If you'd like to submit a question, please click on the call-out button in the Join.me menu screen. That's the call-out symbol is to create a chat. When you open up that chat box, if you go to the drop-down arrow and select Host, then type and submit your question, that question will come to me, and I'll pass them along to Paul and Mary Ann. While we're waiting for questions to come in, I just had a question or two that I thought I'd throw out there. So Paul and Mary Ann, what was your decision-making process to become a franchisee?
Well, I would say is that, in addition to what we've already mentioned here, that it gave us an opportunity to participate in something that we could not have done on our own, if that's what you mean, or you're talking more about the process and how we went through that. If you could elaborate on that, Sam.
Just kind of weighing the pros and cons, the cost benefit. What was the thinking there?
Well, we we were struggling. As I mentioned, we had gone through some difficult times when the economy was bad. We're looking for a way to take some of the risk out of our business. We were concerned about relationships that we had with a number of national companies, and how they might perceive what we were doing with Yesco. Fortunately for us, the vast majority of our national partners have embraced this and have seen that because of the increased staff that we have, we're in a better position to service them, and they've really seen that what we're doing is not a threat to their business, because really what the vast majority of our business that we're getting here is from local operations, and for us, having a much broader customer base has helped us. It's given us a lot more opportunities on our custom fabrication business as well.
Excellent, thank you. So first question that came in, what was the biggest challenge the first year?
Well, what I would say our first year, and to be candid with it, was trying to focus on our service business. Our business has grown tremendously, and we can admit that all of that growth has come in the last 3 years. The first year of our business, we took this on and tried to run it in addition to the rest of our operation without segmenting a focus on our service. And as a result, you get caught up in so many other things that we didn't really do much our first year beyond what we were, the volume that we had prior to joining up with Yesco. And that really was our fault. So Mary Ann and I made a decision after that year to say we're really going to try to devote the resources that we need to this and follow the model of doing the night patrols, making the designated number of calls a day to follow up on things. And once we started doing that, our business has skyrocketed. So that was our biggest challenge, is to try to carve out and make service a priority in our business rather than just something that we did when we weren't too busy on the custom side or our subcontracted installation work.
Excellent. Next question. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, Mary Ann.
I would just say, Yesco has a fabulous model, and, we found that we were constantly busy with other things. And once we, again, put the focus on following that model, dedicating the time to the patrollers and the calls and, all of that, that's really when we found that, we reaped the benefits.
Thank you. Next question. Are you getting materials locally, or are they being shipped to you?
We have them delivered. Right now, the vast majority of the materials that we purchase are through N-Glance. They have a terrific program with Yesco, and I would say we probably buy about 80% of our materials through them. They don't carry everything that we need, but and they deliver to our market here on a daily basis.
Next question. How much is the percent charged for the monthly franchise fee? I can go ahead and field this question. So the royalty that is assessed is 6%, and that's on service business only for our franchisees. Paul and Mary Ann, I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but that's a pretty straightforward answer.
I'd say correct, yeah?
Yes.
Next question. How do we use Yesco's buying power to get discounted materials?
I don't know if N-Glance services your area. That was a big part of it. I found oftentimes I can call Yesco Purchasing directly and talk to them if I'm looking for a part that's difficult to find. They're always willing on the phone to field our calls, get back to us in a timely basis via email. There are more customers other than N-Glance that they have buying power for, so we've definitely expanded the number of
and I think what happens is we get set up automatically as a Yesco house to participate in volume pricing programs that Yesco Corporate has negotiated. As Mary Ann mentioned, we even use that with some of our wholesale providers that for channel letters and other things that we purchase. That discount is automatically passed on to us as a Yesco affiliate.
Great. Last question I have is, what advice do you have, Paul and Mary Ann, for someone who might be considering this opportunity?
I think what we would say is to make sure that if you're going to do this, and that you make sure that you plan to allocate the resources needed to make this work. And there's a pretty robust package that Yesco puts together now for the onboarding process to become a franchisee. And I would caution everyone to say it's not like you sign up and all of the business just falls into your lap. You need to go out and work for it, and make sure that you have people who are dedicated to selling this. Particularly on the sales side, that it needs a constant, repetitive follow-up, and that is a difference, because what we've found is that no one in our market is really trying to do this on a daily basis. And if we show the persistence and the discipline to do this, it's paid off for us.
I would also encourage you to call us or any other of the franchisees. I think everybody has a different story in terms of maybe what their existing business was and adding Yesco to that fold. So, if you'd like to call us offline or anything like that, we definitely would love to talk to anybody that has questions.
So something that you said must have struck a chord, Paul and Mary Ann, because the questions just started filtering in. I've got about 4 or 5 more. So the next one we have is, what are the types of customers that give you business through franchising, and how does it differ from our current Yesco work? And so I'm assuming that they mean the subcontract work that they might be receiving through Yesco.
Okay. We've participated in a few different avenues. Some of them have been our ability to get involved in the gaming business. We do installations at casinos as a result of our affiliation with Yesco. And then we participate in some national service accounts that we probably could not have gotten or pursued on our own, because Yesco is an approved vendor on a national basis that's provided access to us. So not only has it provided some larger regional opportunities that, or national for that matter, but a lot of it has been for us, the night patrol program and the lead generation, if you will, that we've seen has opened us up to a customer base that we had never pursued before. It was always out there, but we didn't really have a means or a method to go after that business. So I think it's provided not only local but national opportunities for us.
Next question, are there designated protected areas for each franchisee? And I'll go ahead and field this one. So when our franchisees come on board, they are awarded a territory, and that territory is unique to them. So the answer is yes, there are territories awarded, and there's only one Yesco franchisee in that territory. The next question, how many staff members do you have focusing on this?
We have 3 sales rep right now. One of them is me, and then I have a sales rep in Grand Rapids and another one starting soon. I also have 2 admin staff. Part of them, we kind of divide our time between Metro and Yesco. And then obviously our technicians, we have 3 night patrollers in place now. So
I think there's that changes. We've been growing our business substantially, but and one of the things that's helped us too is there's a model that's put in place, sort of in the pro forma that you can go through, which gives us a better idea based upon anticipated volume levels that we have, where we're going to need, or at what point it would trigger in that we would need an additional truck or technician or night patrol or salesperson, administrative support, all of that. Fortunately, ESCO's gone through this with all of their branches in the western part of the country and has a pretty good model that they've already experienced as to what the volume levels need to be to bring on additional staff. So we can kind of monitor that we don't get too labor heavy, if you will.
So I'm going to field the next two questions. What is the buy-in cost to become a franchisee? So that's a great question. We have, for a typical territory, the upfront franchise fee is $50,000, and then, as I mentioned before, the 6% ongoing royalty. And then the next question is, how much did it cost you initially to begin? We can't ask the Deters that question here specifically, but I can point you to our franchise disclosure document, which estimates a range of startup costs depending on your specific situation and location. Again, request that information and we can send that document over to you at no obligation. The next question is a very open and honest question. Why are the Deters doing this webinar? Isn't it creating competition for them? Paul and Marianne, what do you say to that?
Well, I would say to some extent, yes, the possibility is out there that it will. However, what we've found is that over the last 4 years, as the ESCO franchise network has grown and become more accepted, our business has grown. There's a lot of value in it for us to be a part of the team that, as Marianne had mentioned too, we have a great network of friends that have across the country now who are doing the same thing. It's been a real blessing for us to be able to share experiences and ideas and best practices across that network. And I think as the entire team grows and the footprint grows, it's just going to provide more opportunities for all of us to increase in that sharing of the knowledge and put us in a better position to service our customers, both locally and regionally. And I think what we've found, too, is I would somewhat expand on that, is that even though our business has grown substantially over the past 3 years, our share of market here is still so small that we could double our business several more times and still have a world of opportunity here. So the fact that more people would be coming on board is not a concern to us. It's really what we think is more of an opportunity.
Next question, how is the franchise branded? Is it a completely separate entity from my already established sign business, or can it be co-branded?
We brand it separately. What happens is that the ESCO operations that we have are a subsidiary of our Metro Detroit Signs Company. And so the trucks are all branded with ESCO, the trucks that do our service business, the trucks that do our installation business and our custom fab work when we're going out to install that are branded as Metro Detroit Signs. And we have separate websites that promote each of those, not only for our Grand Rapids office, but also for our office in Detroit.
Thank you, and I'll just add to that. The opportunity certainly affords the opportunity to do a co-branding strategy for those that have an existing sign company. The ESCO franchise basically encompasses the service work, while the manufacturing installation can maintain the name of the original company or entity, and the structure is flexible as well. The ESCO franchise can be a division of that existing company or a separate entity. How many technicians do you currently employ is the next question.
We have, right now we have 5 technicians in the Detroit area, and we have 2 in our Grand Rapids office. And for overflow, we utilize some of our other installers might be going out in crane work to do high-rise service and other things, or service on electronic displays that we might work on, that things that would go beyond what the service trucks can typically reach, or if two technicians are needed.
Thank you. Next question. How long did it take to get a return on your initial investment? And this is not a question I can pass on to the Deters. I would love to provide the participants today with an answer to that question. However, due to the Federal Trade Commission and their regulations and restrictions on franchising, we're not able to provide an answer to that question. I sincerely apologize for that, but would point you to, again, our franchisees, the Deters or others located throughout the country, to get their perspective, perhaps on what their investment cost has been and how their performance has been financially. The next question we have is it's a follow-up question, follow-up to a protected area question. How large is the typical protected area, and how are territories determined? And I'll go ahead and field this one as well. So we found that a typical territory operates efficiently at a level of about 10 to 12,000 businesses that are likely to have signage. Now, what I mean by that is we'll look at a specific area, we'll look at the number of businesses that are in that area, but we'll subtract businesses that fall into categories like agriculture or mining or construction, essentially businesses that are not likely to have signs. So we subtract them out. That gets us to kind of this net business count that are likely to have signs, and we use that as a guideline to develop an initial territory for our franchisees. We've found that as franchisees grow in the model, as they learn the model, that they are then often able to pursue expansion plans into additional territories where we use the same methodology as far as the size and area of a territory. So I hope that answers that question. The next one, can we specialize in specific types of service, such as high-rise only?
Well,
that's an interesting question. Go ahead, Paul.
I would say, and Sam, you might have some insight in this too, but I'd say you certainly can do that. But what we've found is that there is so much out there that we found it's been beneficial for us not to limit that scope. And as we develop this customer base, we've seen that, and YESCO has helped us try to find ways to do more business with our existing customer base. There's an awful lot out there, particularly with the, if you go beyond just doing sign work and look at the whole lighting field that we can do with customers. And so we've decided to try to broaden the services that we offer for each of our customers rather than specialize. But I would say is that other franchisees might have different strategies as to what they're looking to achieve out of this.
And I would just add to that, I would caution anyone who's considering that as their ingoing strategy, because I feel like our core competency and our wheelhouse as a business, as a sign and lighting service model, is working out of a bucket truck that gives you access and reach to up to about 40 feet and servicing those signs. That really is our bread and butter. That's what our processes are designed around. I would say, though, that once you've got that core business established, there are many opportunities to grow and expand the business through different types of service, high-rise being one, but also LED lighting retrofits is another avenue that our franchisees are finding is a great way to leverage the assets that they have, namely the technician and the truck, to increase the jobs or the ticket items that they're having. For example, they may find a sign that needs repair, but also at that same site, they may work on the pole lights that are lighting up the parking lot or the wall packs or other opportunities like that. So I think there is an opportunity to continue to grow and expand as you're able to add on to your service offering. The next question is, are there equipment requirements, types and sizes of trucks, etc.?
You know what? See, I think what we have found is that we started out with the truck that you had mentioned, about a 40-foot bucket truck, and actually we've had a terrific relationship with Altec in terms of helping us with our fleet management, leasing programs, on-site maintenance. All of that has been a terrific resource for us that. Because of the relationship that Yesco has had with Altec for a long time. But to some extent, we'd say is that the type of truck that you have can vary depending on your market and your existing customer base. What we now have a pretty broad range of trucks. We found that the absolute best one for us, if we had to pick one, has been about a 48-foot model with a box type of setup that can store an awful lot of components. That's been our go-to truck, so to speak, and about half of our fleet is comprised of that right now.
Great, thank you. Another follow-up came, what is the cost per protected territory? So I apologize if that wasn't clear. So the typical territory of 10 to 12,000 businesses has an initial or upfront franchise fee of $50,000. The next question, does Yesco also have buying power on vehicles that others may not have? As Paul just mentioned, we have a relationship with Altec, and we do have a pricing program with them and feel very good about our relationship with them. Next question, do you require electricians to be part of this staff?
No, they've never said that electricians need to be part. We have a variety of service techs that have experience either as a sign specialist. Some of them had been doing electrical work, and they've kind of come on board as an apprentice. We did feel it important, now that we're getting into some major lighting and LED, we did hire a master electrician, and we feel like that's opened a lot of doors for us. So although it's not a requirement, we felt like it would be good to add to our mix, and it has been beneficial for us.
Great, thank you. So just a clarification on my previous answer. So after a franchisee has come on board and they're looking to expand, the franchise fee for an additional territory is at a 50% reduced price. So that $50,000 is for the first or initial territory, and then it is $25,000 for an additional territory after that. So we finally caught up with all the questions, and it was a great list. Thank you all for your participation and the questions that you submitted. Thanks again to Paul and Marianne Deters for their time and their willingness to talk to us today about their experience. We hope this was informative, and again invite you to contact us to schedule a software demonstration or to request a copy of our franchise disclosure document. With that, we hope that everyone has a great day. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.